team in the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche, left their overcoach behind as they hit red on Tampa for a date with the up-and-coming Lightning. They were one of hockey's feel-good stories last season. Lightning did strike in Tampa as John Tortorella's club skated their way to their first-ever division title and a first-round win over the Washington Capitals in the playoffs. This season, they again find themselves atop the division. But are the Lightning better than they were a year ago? A true test comes tonight as they play host to the star-studded Avalanche. The St. Pete Times Forum in Tampa, Florida is sold out. It's an East-West first-place showdown between the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hi, everybody, and good evening. Alongside Brian Engbaum, I'm Steve Levy. No surprise with Colorado in town. We'll see the hottest goal scorer in the league over the last 30 days, except he plays for the Lightning.
Yeah, Martin St. Louis is a 5'9", 185-pound package of dynamite. He is so much fun to watch. Whether it's shorthanded, he's got 5 shorthanded goals on the year. He creates something out of nothing all the time. Tremendous speed, tremendous quickness. It's like trying to catch a rabbit out there. You can send your best hound out there, and he'll absolutely wear him out. Keep your eye on number 26 tonight.
When we come back, we'll look at the Colorado offense. As for who St. Louis will be shooting at tonight, Patrick Waugh left the Colorado goaltending situation in good hands. No one has more wins than David Abisher. Captain Joe Sakic leads the Colorado Avalanche into Tampa to take on the Lightning. Sakic comes in tied for 5th overall in scoring in the league. No one would be surprised if he finishes first. Now, he'll be extra dangerous tonight because Peter Forsberg is out of the lineup. You always have to watch for Sakic.
Oh, Sakic always steps up when Peter's down. There's no doubt about that. After a bit of a slow start, Joe Sakic's been terrific. He's been marching up the leaderboard. If you want to teach your son or daughter how to play center, just make a tape with Joe Sakic. And he's playing with a guy who's Alex Tanguay, who's probably having a career year. This guy is top in their team in point scoring, and you probably would have picked about 5 other guys ahead of him, but Tanguay is terrific. He's got a great shot, but I think his decision-making between making passes and shooting may be even better.
As for the guy they'll be shooting on tonight, there's no goalie controversy here in Tampa, Florida. John Tortorella said clearly Nikolai Khabibulin is their #1 goaltender. They'll try to back in Tampa, the Lightning set to make their first national television appearance on the season, exclusively here on ESPN2, on the back end of this Martin Luther King holiday weekend. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had the day off. And if not, hope you have tonight off and ready to sit back and enjoy what should be a dandy of a hockey game. The NHL took notice as well. Rare that you see 2 veteran referees together in the same game. We've got 2 of the best, Kerry Fraser and Don Koharski. Steve Miller and Johnny Murray are the linesmen tonight. Tampa in their home blue and Colorado in their visiting white. Shot to the corner. David Abisher is out to play it, swinging around. How did that squeeze by Vincent LeCavalier? And it's all the way softly into the Tampa end. Lightning look to move it away, and they'll do so with Dane Boyle. Boyle still carrying it center while the rest of the Lightning go for a change. Clymer picks up the loose puck, still has it from the angle. Abisher's in the hockey game. Sent loose puck to the crease and slapped out to center.
I think the key to this game is going to be the neutral zone. There's a turnover right there.
Sarich turned it over to Sakic and able to make the pass, but it's now broken up.
Tampa's been better at this lately. They've been doing a better job in the neutral zone. Their defense has been up closer to their forwards, and because of that, their game has improved. And for the Colorado Avalanche, they're incredibly dangerous there. Adam Foote said to me, early in the season, we used to rest in the neutral zone, and that was a big mistake. Colorado cleaned that up a month or 2 ago.
Sarich got away with one. Turned it over to Sakic with Correa and Solani with him. Off center. Shot in by Steve Kowalczyk. Again, no Peter Forsberg for Colorado, and it doesn't seem to matter early. All Avalanche. Stillman got it away. Here's Richards now. Let it go, and just missed the mark. And Abisher sliding from left to right. Here's a quick shot from Stillman, and Abisher able to stay with and make the save.
David Abisher makes a really good save here, but I'll tell you, the first shot from well out, he seemed to slide off the mark there and had difficulty with it, but nonetheless, it ended up going wide. And watch this quick play from behind the net to Corey Stillman, who gets a shot. Derek Morris was the Colorado defenseman in front, and he was covering up, but that was a good, quick, short side save there by David Abisher.
Look at the numbers on Abisher. His numbers are very, very competitive, if not better in some categories, for those of Patrick Watt at this time of season ago. You know, he's done more than anybody could have expected, Brian.
David Abisher has probably been the most consistent player the entire season, especially in the first month and a half when the rest of the Avalanche team was mediocre on a lot of nights. He was really good.
Avalanche come in, having earned points in 20 of their last 24, offside at the Tampa Bay blue line.
And we got Nikolai Habibulin in goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and there's been a lot of talk this season, especially over the last couple of weeks, is who's the number one guy? Well, this is the number one guy according to their coach and according to their team, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to play 75% of the game or 80% of the games, because this guy, John Graham, who's played 5 of the last 6 games, has really been good. The interesting thing is Habibulin is better at home, and Graham is better on the road. That works.
That's right. Off the board, St. Louis let it go, and Abisher got a stick on it. Here's Martin, St. Louis. The hottest goal scorer in the NHL over the last month. Puck out of play and into the crowd.
Well, there's a lot of exciting forwards on both teams in this game, but the real difference will be the defense. And the Colorado Avalanche defense, they can put up a lot more points than the Lightning do. Look at the difference there. 108 points by defenseman, which I believe, Steve, is number 1 in the NHL, and the Lightning at 51. In today's National Hockey League, in order to consistently score points, your defense have to be active, they have to have some skill, and they have to get up on the floor.
So Adam Foote going to get a change off the faceoff. Abisher will steer it away. I asked him if we're going to see him in Minnesota. I mean, it's amazing. He has never been selected to an all-star game, yet he's represented his country 2 times.
And a couple of Stanley Cup. It's extreme, but I mean, the all-star game is what it is. And it's about putting talent out there, and people love to see goals scored, and Adam is not usually considered in that group.
Offensive numbers, especially for the defenseman in the all-star game. His offensive numbers are pretty good this year. After a career year last year offensively. Ball Korea is back for it. Touched by Sakic, tipped out to center. John Michael Lyles will pick it up. Shot around. Habibulin will take a look. Up the near side. Here's Saric. He'll move it away. Off the climber. He'll backhand softly to the Colorado end. And Abisher has time. Now he's forecheck. Some pressure. Able to knock it away. Tanguay, first pass out of his own was a good one. Kyle Walchuk on his backhand. Now, got some help trying to get it to the middle of the ice for Hayden and couldn't get it all the way across. Tampa Bay picks it up and reswamped it rather. Lukowicz, I beg your pardon. He's forecheck. So too is Boyle. Good job by Tanguay. Nearly took it away. And Tampa needs a clear. They'll get more than that. Here's what Cavallero tried to make the move. So a big lock way. 2-1 the other way. Kyle Walchuk got it across. On the return feed never got there. Shot from the angle is a save. And St. Louis can't do anything with it. And the Avalanche trying to get something going here. Just kept in by Kyle Walchuk. Wrapped around the board. Nifty move there. Centering feed. And it's broken up. And Boyle will move it away from Tampa. They'll get the long clear. No icing because it goes on goal.
Well, we're already seeing evidence of that neutral zone play. There have been a couple of turnovers in this game, and both of them have given Colorado Avalanche chances. So Tampa's an exciting team, and that means things happen at both ends of the ice. They can't afford to make many mistakes like that.
Steve Moore trying to lead this rush, along with Andre Nikolic. Back the other way. Here come the Lightning. And that shot from Frederick Modin, who can shoot it, is deflected out of play.
Yeah, let's go back to that last sequence where Colorado turned pucks over. Right at the blue line there's a turnover by Tampa on the rush. And look how quickly the Avalanche come back in the other direction. So it has Tampa scrambling to fill the middle of the ice and then to sort it out. If Tony Granado's guys can do that to Tampa, a lot of times it'll help. this, it's going to be a long evening. Nicolishin against Richards in the face-off circle, and that's just a blown assignment there. Danny Heinold, number 13, let his man get behind him. Modine simply stiffed around him. His 13th goal of the year, third the top shell. Nice play by him. Colorado, a lapse of judgment there.
Nicolishin did his job. A tremendous face-off player. Wins the face-off cleanly. Turnover now. Clymer's shot nearly stuck through the pads of Abisher.
Is this just what the doctor ordered for this building, for this Lightning team? That's exactly what they needed. They're trying to measure themselves against this Colorado Avalanche team. Dave Andrechuk's been around a long time. In fact, over 1,500 games. And he knows this gives them some juice. But you're right. I mean, Colorado, Nicolishin does his job. It's everybody has to be in on a face-off win, and they weren't in Colorado.
Frederick Modine gets the goal, his 13th. The lone assist from Richards, who lost that face-off, Brian. If that was a cheap assist, but obviously his stick touched it. And he'll get the help at 4:57. Here's Correa trying to make the move in. Lost it at the last second. On for Sakic. Behind the net. Here's Solani. The Avalanche desperately trying to get Teemu Solani going. Just 2 goals in his last 17 games. Off for Carlos Skrastinch. Got it in softly. And the call is offside at the Tampa blue line. 5:54 into this first.
Things have really changed for the Lightning in the last 6 years, I can tell you. They got 49 points right now, and that's 3 points ahead of last year. But if you go back 6 years, Steve, they had 44 points all season long. So this group, under John Tortorella, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, has really turned a corner. They've really added a lot of depth, experience, and certainly talent, and this organization is going places.
And fastest start to 21 wins in franchise history. That shot up high on Abisher, and he'll hang on, and will step out. Frederick Modine on the board, giving the Lightning the 1-0 lead. I think the league is starting to pay attention, starting to respect this Lightning club. Say what you will about the division that they're in. They're a first-place team right now. 10 points out of the top spot overall in the East, currently occupied by Toronto. Headman pass to Peter Worrell in ahead of the play, and he got the shot around the ice. And the save made by Hobby Boulin, and he's able to hang on. That's a constant theme here in Tampa about respect, and you don't want to make the mistake of stepping on that symbol in the dressing room of the Lightning. I actually made that mistake last season during the playoffs. I was told very politely, hey, we don't do that in this dressing room.
Yeah. And one of their mottos is safe is death. And John Tortorella said that his defense, he wants his defense up on the play, because for a while when they were losing games and not playing well, they were too scared and they were too safe, and that's when he went back to that motto, safe is death. So they want to be aggressive here against Colorado.
Hey, Brian, we need more teams with that kind of motto in this league.
Amen.
Go, go, go. He treated the trap like a 4-letter word that it is when we talked to him this morning. We're not going to do that around here regardless of the opponent. And they're offside of the Colorado line.
And because of that, they've raised the expectations here, and that's something they certainly had to do. The example, a good example, is the last game they played. They lose to Florida. They outshoot them 51 to 20 something. I mean, it wasn't even close. Luongo was brilliant in goal for Florida, and the whole team, including the coach here, I mean, they were so upset. They said, yeah, okay, the guy was great, but we can't give up that goal. We have to win games like that, and that's the kind of attitude that takes you to the next level.
Lightning got off to a start in which they lost just 3 times in their first 17 games, but then won just 4 over their next 19. And since then, they're 62 over the last 8. So the mark that they haven't yet gotten to where they want to is the fact they're still so inconsistent and up and down. Tipped into the corner. Lightning first on it. They're going to say it's touched with a high stick, and that's the reason for the whistle. Thursday night, Jeremy Roenick, Mark Recchi, and the Flyers will hit the Madison Square Garden for a meeting with the Rangers. Flyers-Rangers also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today. The NHL on ESPN. Made on America, delivered on Thursday at 7:30 Eastern. By all accounts, the Rangers fluid team today was a flat-out old-time war.
Glad to hear that. That's terrific.
Two of the original six wearing the throwback sweaters, and it was like a game from the 70s. Rangers Flyers figures to be more of the same. Seaback got that shot away off his back foot. Martin Seaback, and now a penalty coming up. As Cummins took his man down behind the Colorado net.
Well, a chance to build some more momentum here. There's Tampa Bay will go on the power play, and this is one of the areas that if Tampa is going to improve and move up, continue to move up the charts. Take a look at the penalty here. There's Cummins. Yeah, that'll get you a penalty every time. But Tampa's got to be better on the power play. They've been okay at times. They've gone completely stagnant at times. To Craig Ramsey, their assistant coach, this morning, he said, we're guilty of standing too much and looking for the perfect pass and the perfect play. A lot of power plays around the league are guilty of that.
Here's Stillman. Shot, stop, loose puck, side of the net. And a shot from the angle by St. Louis, and he couldn't bang it home. Here the Avalanche looking to go. Out ahead of the play. And Richards got back, and I think just got it up to knock it away from Nicolaishi. Had Korea over. Here's St. Louis. Got it across, back to Andrechuk. And we go coast to coast. Here's Korea now. They're outside. Shot, stop by Harvey Boone. And he'll hang on. Scratch's got the shot away on this Tampa power play.
Oh, end-to-end action because of the type of players that Colorado can use when they kill penalties. That's Paul Korea on Nicolaishi, and a real nifty defensive play by Pavel Kabina, number 13, who was the lone man back. And then back comes St. Louis, and makes the pass right through. But it was Andrechuk who just couldn't quite get the handle on that. But Colorado Avalanche have one of the biggest improvements over last year is their penalty killing. They were mediocre to poor last year. This year, they're really strong on the penalty kill, and they throw out 4 or 5 different combinations. All of them are dangerous, which you just saw, and it really puts the fear of God in the other opposition power play. And that's happening to Tampa right now.
Colorado's penalty killing ranked second in the NHL. And we've given up a power play goal in their last 4 games, last 15 chances. Bobby Boone will now try to force the issue, and that's a 2-line pass. Some miscommunication there.
The Avalanche are a team that, when everybody plays them, they're using as a measuring stick. Alex Tanguay, who we talked about before the game started, is terrific. You've got a cast of characters, including Teemu Selanne, that up front are just so dynamic, and they have every element against. And they're fast, and they've got the talent to score. They've got deep defense, and Abisher's played great. So Tampa is trying to see just exactly how good they are right now. Last year at this time, they played Colorado, and it was a turning point for their season that they used even going into the playoffs a couple of months later.
Who made the mistake on that goal by Tampa Bay has the puck. Sort of had a spirited shift. And we'll get it off to Tanguay now. I don't go to the front of the net. Now it goes to the team. St. Louis in there, along with Stillman. And Boyle trying to swing through. He's upended. The crowd wanted to call, won't get one. Letalier for Andrechuk. He's jumped into a big way by Footman, going to take him down the ice. Here's Boyle. Made the pass through everybody. Letalier's backhand shot was stopped. And let's see. The penalty coming up.
Yeah, there were a couple of things going on in that play. Adam Foote, I think, is the guy who's going to go. You know what? He took a run at Dave Andrechuk, and Adam Foote's been around a long time, and he's a tough guy. But maybe he just had mentally, for a moment, just forgot how tough Dave Andrechuk is on his feet, because he took a run at Andrechuk, and it was Foote that went completely off balance. This guy is really strong. That's the original hit. You see that stick go flying? That was Adam Foote's. So then Adam has no stick in his hands. He decides, well, I'm going to finish the check now, and he ends up taking 2 minutes. So back on the power play goes Tampa.
Let's play a little 4-on-4. Rather, I beg your pardon, 5-on-3 for 14 seconds, then 5-on-4. Let's see. Face-off win by Tampa. Kabina got it down low for Richards now. Andrechuk in his slot. St. Louis in a high slot. Never got there. Kabina got the shot away, popped up in the air. He's pumped to Colorado, and we're clear.
Well, they had the one good 5-on-3 chance, and at least they got a shot to the net. It wasn't a blistering shot, but they did get something through, and they had a decent chance on it, rather than have the time expire just passing it around the outside.
Shot around the boards now. Nebraska is bumped down the ice by St. Louis.
send out there. They're a man short. But what makes this key is watch them overpower Tampa inside the zone here. Tampa should have more guys on the puck. Rob Blake, number 4, made the play. And then look at Blake jump up on the play. He's a defenseman, but obviously what he does, he jumps up and takes the defenseman to the net and leaves the goal scorer, Joe Sakic, to work his way through to the net in his wake. And Sakic doesn't miss chances like that.
Brian, Tampa Bay should have been on alert. I mean, they've been warned throughout this game when they've had the power play. Colorado's had 3 or 4 short-handed rushes before that one that led to the goal. And they did not heed the warning. Power play continues for 57 seconds now in a 1-1 game. Boyle will drop it off for LeCavalier. This is more power play time for Tampa. LeCavalier holding, now trying to make the perfect play off the stick of Konowalchuk.
That play by Rob Blake was an all-star kind of play. Rob Blake is having an outstanding season on the bench for the Avalanche. And the way he jumped Richards when Richards wasn't ready and then jumped up on the play. That's great stuff, all-star stuff.
Here's Frederick Modine, little give and go. Shot off the shoulder of Avalanche. It's going to take got the shot away. And it's cleared down the ice. 20 seconds left on the main advantage.
A little bit of bad luck there in front of the net. You had LeCavalier in front of the net and trying to get a whack at it. And then Danny Boyle came down from the blue line. And there were just too many feet and the stick couldn't reach the puck.
St. Louis drop pass shot and a save. Abisher in perfect position, as is John Butchergrass.
Overtime in Florida. Blues and Panthers 1-1. Watch Mike Van Ryn lose the battle with Pavel Demitra. Demitra will go stick side, beat Luongo, and beat the Panthers in overtime.
Really painful for Van Ryn, the former Blue Note himself.
Speaking of painful, you see Joe Sakic still wearing that extra visor around. He had a fractured jaw.
Shot stopped by Abisher as he lost his edge. He went down. Sakic got away. Number 19 scores his 19th goal of the year. Korea, the lone assist at 10:21, was a short-handed goal. 8 minutes left. Here in an up-tempo kind of first break. Sakic again. Trying to make the pass. Richards will just get the clear. Gets out to center.
Oh, this has been an up-tempo first period. Absolutely, Steve. Action at both ends of the ice. I mean, you give Joe Sakic, as a perennial all-star, this kind of chance. He doesn't miss, Willie.
Think they're excited about having a little national television in town? Wow!
Don't try this at home, folks. He is a professional.
The first of 2 meetings scheduled of this season between these 2 first-place clubs, Colorado and Tampa Bay. 4 on the back check. He went down. Good battle. Foot leading the way for Colorado. Lightning able to get the puck though. Dingman in the battle behind the net. Looking for some help. Pretty good collision there. As Foot and Dingman were locked up. Dingman played 2 seasons with the Avalanche. That had his career year there with 8 goals.
And the best thing Chris Dingman can do for his teammates is try to take a little steam out of Adam Foote, because Adam plays against the top lines all the time. St. Louis and LeCavalier and Richards, those guys are going to see a lot of Adam Foote.
Peter Worrell on the ice. His players come together in front of that Tampa bench. Tonight, ESPN's coverage of the first Grand Slam tennis event of the year will continue here on ESPN2. Got live matches from Melbourne at 10 Eastern. Following our game, Andy Roddick and Andre Agassi advance. Venus Williams advances. They're all still live. For more information, log on to ESPN2, ESPN.com.
Peter Worrell was involved in that last little altercation. He's no stranger to Southern Florida. He was acquired from the Florida Panthers, and he knows this Tampa team pretty well. And you don't want to mess with Peter Worrell, because he has a big, strong guy.
They've really picked up on their team toughness. They got a few Cummings in the lineup as well.
They can play it any way you want, Colorado.
Here's Martin Skula. He'll let it go, and he scores! Through a screen in front. Skula has put Colorado up 2-1.
And that's exactly what that was. That was just a good old-fashioned screenshot. And Tampa was still sorting things out. There were bodies passing in front of Nikolai Habibulin, and Martin Skula just did the right thing. He got the puck to the net, and it went in. There's a heads-up play from Hayduk. I don't think it touched anybody, but Connor Walchuk, who was so good at it, Southwest Airlines goal cam, it gives you a little bit better perspective how unfair it is for us sometimes to sit, or even in our living rooms or up here, and see a good angle from up high, and you don't appreciate what the goaltender has to look through just to find the puck.
It would be his first goal in 22 games. And they are giving it to Skula, his second of the season. Rolls in on Hobby Bull, and he'll scoop it up. And now he'll drop it. Play will continue. Off the skate, a high note, tried to wrap it around to the backhand. Good idea. And it was broken up. Shots are 14-5 in favor of the Lightning. Yet Tampa Bay is trailing. The only place it counts, 2-1. High note down, taken away by Nikolitin. Nikolitin on, back to the point. Strastic lets it go, and it's tipped to the corner. Carlos Strastic is playing in his 315th consecutive game, the longest active streak in the entire NHL.
Carlos Strastic has been excellent. He was an excellent pickup in the offseason for Colorado. Greg DeVries, he's the guy he replaced, and did a great job.
Solani in Korea trying to work the magic down low, and it's taken away. Coming up on 5.5 to play here in the first. 2-1 Avalanche. Here's Korea. Cross ice pass. Rob Blake lets it go. Save. And a juicy rebound. Primer was there for Tampa.
Well, the puck movements from Colorado is really getting good.
Lyles backed up a little bit, and that allowed the Lightning to get the opportunity. But can't do much with it. What a first period by Paul Korea. He's really got the Jets going tonight. Here's Sakic. Try to feather it through to Korea. And Hobby Bull will steal it back for Cullimore. Jason, J-A-S-S-E-N. That's how he spells his first name, Jason Cullimore. And it's shot in and offside.
Well, Tampa had things going early with the 1-0 lead, but Colorado certainly hasn't backed off the pedal. And you look what goaltenders have to go through in the National Hockey League. Where is it? Where is it? Behind me now.
Kula got the goal. Tanguay and Hayduk, 13-11, the time of the goal. Tampa Bay have shown the ability to come back. Some people call it the best regular season game ever played here. Last season when Colorado was in town, they had a 3-0 lead early, and the Lightning rallied to win 4-3. For some reason, Colorado has struggled over the years, the all-time series, and this is shocking. Yeah, 10-10-3. I mean, the Lightning all-time are 500 against this mighty Avalanche franchise. 8-2-1 here. Tampa Bay.
That's incredible. I mean, they've got a good job. Obviously, Colorado's had a terrific team for years there, and Tampa's got their number in this building.
In fact, the only team Tampa has a better home winning percentage against all time is Atlanta, and that makes sense, obviously. But you wouldn't think Colorado would be second. Here's Richardson across the line. Finds Corey Stillman on his backhand. He'll roll it around the board. Too far for Blake. Lukowicz stepped into it. Loose puck in front. Popped up in the air, and Abisher will glove it down. NHL.com for scores, stats, fantasy, and the official store of the NHL. NHL.com. If it's hockey, it's here.
What do you do if you're playing behind the best goaltender of all time? Well, David Abisher found that out. You have to wait. And he's waited 5 long years. 2 years in the minors and 3 years playing directly behind Patrick. And Abisher got his chance this year. He's been terrific.
Here's Sakic waiting for some help. Has it before Nikolitin. And now he'll spin back. Foot will let it go. It's off the skate and back to center. Lyles is on it for Colorado. For David Abisher, this is his 36th start of the season. His career high was 22, and that was some 3 seasons ago. So you wonder if some of the wear and tear will start to affect him of being a number one guy, but as you mentioned, he's younger up. He's only 25.
He's having way too much fun out there. I mean, it wasn't his fault. I mean, he just had to literally wait his turn. He can't speed up the process. He can't speed up the clock. But now that Patrick Waugh is not there, Abisher, I said earlier, has been probably their most consistent player all year long. And his only sin is that he's not Patrick Waugh. Right. And that's what people have been saying basically all year long. What really matters for Abisher is April and beyond.
Big hit, Lukowicz along the boards. Took out his man Hyde in a big way. And here come the Lightning. 3-on-3 as they hit the Colorado line. Benetenko was spun around, somehow got to the puck. Here's St. Louis with Benetenko. The Cavalier has it now. Trying to center all the way across. Boylak snuck in from the point. We get a whistle. And I believe a delayed penalty is coming up against Colorado.
Yeah, it looks like it's another roughing penalty. And this has been a physical game. It's been a rough game, and it's Adam Foote who's going for the second time. And a usual penalty for Adam, it's roughing. Here's a taste of what we've seen so far. Here we are in the middle of January in the dog days, and people say, well, do the players really care? Do they really get up for games? Are they ready to play? If you're not ready to play tonight, you're going out the ice with some help, and the trainers are going to be with you.
Foote roughing at 17:26. Again, keep in mind, Colorado already has a shorthanded goal. That's something that's been Tampa Bay's specialty. Only Detroit has more shorthanded goals than the Lightning group. Led by Martin St. Louis 5, he's the league leader. But Tampa's got the man advantage now with Foote in the box. Kyle Walchuk will get to it, and he'll clear.
And that shorthanded goal was as a result of Tampa being a little too deliberate in the offensive zone and just not being quite ready for how that play developed and how quickly it turned against them. We'll see how well they move the puck here.
Richard trying to feather it through from Modine. Bouncing puck, chop that, can't clear. Stillman, the forward, plays the point on the Tampa power play, along with Dan Bile. And again, here come the Avalanche. Wow. Not for the rolling puck. They might have had another 2-on-1 shorthanded. Here's Modine. Puts on the brakes. This for some help now. Modine, top of the circle. Little give and go with Stillman. He'll move back to the point. Got it across. Ball, tough pass from the handle. And Schooler will backhand softly down the ice.
Corey Stillman was out there playing the point. He, of course, was acquired in the offseason when Tampa lost Vinny Prosper. Vinny Prosper's absence on the power play here has hurt them this year because Prosper really makes some nice plays, but Stillman's the leading goal scorer.
Here's the Cavalier roaring in, and it's tipped aside. Looks like he was flat on the ice, and then when there was no whistle, picked himself up and went to the bench.
I think he was holding a wrist or a forearm. I didn't get a good look at that, but he scooted to the bench quickly.
Turnover on Grant Larson, and he's put down, and a penalty coming up. Kabina is going to go for tripping on Larson.
Well, it'll be a little 4-on-4 action. That would be great with these two teams flying.
Coming up, the Dodge Intermission Report. John and Barry standing by. We'll have an NHL Pioneer honored. The Bruins we mentioned. Big man Bruins again. And the concussion is Scott Stevens.
And speaking of injuries, Dan Highnote, as you saw, just number 13, headed to the bench. See if we can pick it up. The right side of your screen, right at the blue line. He gets sort of blindsided himself. He ran right into a Fanasenkov. Never saw him there, and he must have jammed up his arm or his shoulder or something. The way he went off, it looked that way anyway.
Corey Saric, the far side, long shot, tipped to the corner by Abishin. 40 seconds left in the period. 5 seconds left in the Foote penalty. So Colorado will have a mini power play right now. Foote's out of the box. Here's Lyles in. Lyles has 4 points his last 3 games. Solani is rubbed out in a big way. Back behind the net. Saric puts Solani down. Rolls up for Rob Blake. A rare mistake by Rob Blake. Blake is having another one of those Norris Trophy kind of seasons.
There is.
Here's Lyles and across the line. Solani. Spun around, checked down the ice again. They're all over Solani. Lyles is down, still in the Tampa zone. He gets up slowly. And this has been a physical first period.
Yeah, Max, they got a score at the end of the first period.
Power play will carry over into period number 2. After 1 here in Tampa, Florida, the Avalanche outshot in a big way, yet they lead the Lightning 2-1. The Dodge Intermission Report after
Heineken.
back at the St. Pete Times Forum here in Tampa, Florida. Getting set for second period action. All sorts of hockey fun for the young and the old, except the hometown Lightning trail the Avalanche by a score of 2-1. Teams getting set to hit the ice for second period action. We talked about it in the open, Brian. with Peter Forsberg out, Joe Sakic always seems to step up.
And watch the three guys work. There's Sakic, 19 white. Then watch Rob Blake, 4 white. He sees the situation. This is shorthanded, folks. Now, Paul Correa, the puck carrier, Rob Blake in the middle of the ice, the lead guy, will drive the Tampa Bay defenseman to the front of the net. Then Joe Sakic, one of the best scorers in the National Hockey League. See, he just takes his time and just picks them apart. Those 3 experienced all-stars managing a situation. Paul Correa got the assist on that goal. And for he and Teemu Selanne, it was well documented that coming into this season, it was going to be a dream year for them. Their dream was to play again together on the same team. And unfortunately for Paul, it's turned into a bit of a nightmare because he's missed 31 games with injury. For Teemu Selanne, it's been a bit of the same. 21 projected goals. He's got 11 right now. That would be the lowest season total in his 12-year career. So the expectations and the dream are a lot different than reality, and reality can bite sometimes. But the biggest part of the dream is these 2 guys winning the Stanley Cup. Neither one of them has won it. There's still lots of time, and they're still on the right team to have a good chance to do it.
Both took large pay cuts, especially Correa. That probably wasn't part of the dream, the $9 million pay cut.
But it just shows you, I mean, how much they wanted the dream.
Right.
To sign for what they did.
Right.
They approached Colorado and said, we want to come and play for your team because we think you have the best chance to win the Stanley Cup. We like your environment. We like the way you play hockey here. And you can see the way Paul Correa is playing now. And tonight, you mentioned several times in the first period, dynamic. I mean, one of the fastest skaters in the league, one of the prettiest players to watch. This guy has got just silky smooth hands, and together they are dynamic, and they've proven it over the years.
Power play. This is from a penalty that Sabina took at the 19-minute mark of period number 1. This is the ensuing power play that is carrying over for another 45 seconds. Tampa Bay, very dangerous short-handed goals. They have 10 on the season. Only Detroit has more with 11. Of course, if you're just joining us, Colorado had that short-handed goal earlier in Joe Sakic.
But there's lots of confidence in the Colorado team right now. This is the best power play in the National Hockey League.
Number 1 on the road as well. Here's Sakic, got it across. Blake along the ice. And it was deflected by Tanguay. Here's Correa now. And the Avs to set things up. Correa's got it. Look like off the crossbar from the angle. Hayden, with everyone expecting it to go one way, it went the other, and Hayden just ran it off the iron. I think it really surprised Hobby Boone. Tanguay able to keep it. Chopped out by Culver and out of the zone. Power play is over.
Milan Hajduk's hands are just incredible. And yeah, he did bring that one off the crossbar. And by rights, he never should have even had a sniff at this. He is so good on the angle. Pick up number 23 white on the left side of your screen. You won't see him yet. But look at the angle he's on. His body is actually behind the net. And he ripped that one right off the crossbar. He and Peter Forsberg have really used that a lot. And Forsberg, of course, is not in the lineup, but that was Paul Correa that gave him the feed that time. And of all the players on this team, Joe Sakic, who is one of the great players, will tell you, Milan Hajduk has the best hand of them all.
He scored his 50th goal on the final day of the season last season. Become the first player in franchise history to win the goal scoring title in the Rocket Richard trade. Speaking of NHL legends, Scotty Bowman in the house. Yeah. Got a chance to shake his hand as he walked by.
Well, he's living in Florida pretty much. I'm not sure exactly where in Florida he lives, but he's spending all his time down here. I haven't seen him yet. From what I hear, he's nicely tanned, and he's probably doing a little scouting for Detroit. Scotty will be watching games till he's 100. And that's what he is. He's a hockey guy and he's a hockey coach.
Steve Moore, former Harvard star, through the goal mouth. And back the other way. Straston put into the Tampa bench. We get the whistle.
Carlos Strastic, I mentioned in the first period, was a terrific pickup. He has been great. He had the most ice time in the first period, in fact. He kills a lot of penalties, and Colorado had a couple of penalties. His line mate, Adam Foote, was in the penalty box twice, but this guy, very quietly, was a terrific pickup, and Nashville actually offered him to some other teams who didn't take them up on it, and Colorado really picked a gem there for the sake of a draft pick.
How does Nashville let a player like that leave?
Well, it was a bit of a salary situation.
Right, sure. Off of Kubina and softly to the boards. And that's Referral pick it up. He was involved in that first period, as he always is. He's pumped. Turned over. Lost it on the full check there. Pratt is back for it for Tampa Bay.
Nikolai Habibulin came out and played that puck, and he played it okay. It was a little bit of a close call. Habibulin, of the two goaltenders, he and Graham, Habibulin does not handle a puck quite as well out of the net as John Graham does. And so the defensemen don't get quite as much help with Habibulin out the way they do as well.
Modine with Korea draped on him. Modine's got a low Tampa goal. Off a face-off in the first period from Brad Richards. Solani on the good back check it out, turned over to Richards. Here's Modine, it's got a lane and fires it, and nearly took out Don Koharski. Foot to the corner. Modine on him. Richards trying to kick it free, and it comes to Sakic. 3-on-2 Avalanche. Here's Solani. Draw for Sakic. Gives it back, and a save up high. I think that crackled off the mask of Habibulin.
He sure did, and those masks are so good. And thank goodness for that, because the goaltenders don't even flinch anymore. That was a full-on shot that hit Habibulin right in the face, and he hardly even blinked. Of course, I'm sitting up here. He may be blinking crazy down there.
He might still be blinking.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here's puck at center. Schooler will settle it down. Schooler's goal is the difference in the game right now from Hejduk and Tanguay. Tanguay already the NHL leader in assists. Picked up his 38th helper of the season. We're 4 minutes in, period number 2. And it's moved away. Tampa with that fourth line getting some action. Martin Seaback out there with Digman. And the score! Dmitry Avalanche has put it in. And he's tied the game for the Lightning. A rare shift for this fourth line, and they tie the game, right?
They needed the energy again because they didn't quite know where the offense was going to come back from after they scored the first goal of the game. But a little lapse again in front of the net. The Avalanche players had enough players back, but nobody had anybody. John Michael Lyles was number 26 white, and Milan Hejduk, who was down very low in his zone, helping out, but was just in a zone. So they played zone, and they got burned in the seam.
Here's Modine with one hand tied behind his back, knocked off the puck. Got some help from Richards now. Connor Walchuk in on the battle. Modine was spilled down. And Derek Morris is swinging around. And it's flipped out by Ryan. 2-2 hockey game here tonight in Tampa. Morris will shoot it across. Finds Connor Walchuk through him. Tanguay on the forecheck, trying to take it away from Pratt. It's fourth deeper. Hejduk in on the forecheck now. Here's Tanguay. And the Avalanche really starting to come now. On the good forechecking pressure following the Tampa goal. It's tipped through traffic and along the net. Lightning able to clear out the center.
The time, 4:16.
Milan Hejduk now. Hejduk got it off the foot. Foot holding, centered, through everybody. And it rolls off LeCavalier's stick. Here's Kubina for LeCavalier. Cross-ice Stillman off his skate. And it's played to Fedotenko. His backhand is sailed wide. And Nicolishin will try to move it out to center. And it's pumped into the Lightning bench. Fedotenko gets the goal, his fourth. Chris Digman picks up the lone assist at 4:16.
Players play longer than ever in the National Hockey League, and Dave Anderchuk is one of those guys. He's played over 1,500 games now. And 20-goal seasons, he's on the list there too. Gordie Howe had 22 20-goal seasons. Ron Francis had 20 20-goal seasons and still counting. And Dave Anderchuk, 18 20-goal seasons. That's how you become a 600-goal scorer.
And nearly a goal scored right there, as Abisher had to be ready to make the save.
Right on cue there.
This one has changed.
Yeah, right on cue, Dave Anderchuk. Incredibly long reach. I mean, this guy, 1,300 points. Congratulations to him for that. That's a pretty short list, and the list gets shorter all the time. He was told at the beginning of the year by his coach he was going to play 9 minutes a game. Played 20 minutes last game.
Stick saved by Abisher, steered it off the glass.
And he wasn't really complaining. You know, he played a lot of minutes over the year. The first 1,500 games were the toughest.
Anderchuk, his first 21 games were pretty tough this season. Scored just one goal. but 8 in his last 23. But he is so much more to this Lightning club than just a goal scorer now. Oh, yeah. The leadership, keeping everything cool and calm in the room and on the bench. 22 seasons in the NHL will do that for you. And of his 621 career goals, only 3 have gone into an empty net.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. You think by accident you get one a season, Brian.
Maybe he's really bad at empty nets.
3 empty net goals in 22 years.
In over 600.
And it's not like he's not a goal scorer, right? Incredible.
Well, he's good from 15 feet in. Obviously, he's not right on the other side of the red line, which is where most of them are scored from.
Just a guess, Brian. You had to guess. How many empty netters for Wayne Gretzky? 35, 40?
I have no idea.
I mean, wouldn't you think he got a couple of seasons?
Certainly a heck of a lot more than 3. Wow. Yeah, he had a couple of seasons.
Hey, look at this. They get that fourth line right back on the ice after they score the goal for Tampa. There's Seaback out there. Dingman still forechecking. And the goal scorer, Afanasenkov, just went off for a change. Reward your fourth line, right, Brian? Absolutely. Here's Stillman, down ahead for Modine. Drop for Stillman, let it go. Missed the walk. He's got that hard shot. Cabina will shoot it in deeper. Richards taken down in a big way behind the net and still down. Foot over him. Modine trying to play it to himself. Did 3 Avalanche players around him. And finally it comes free. Kowalchuk trying to crisscross with Tanguay. And they're offside. More on Andrechuk and his twig when we come back. Making some noise here in Tampa, Florida, as you look at the veteran and captain of the Lightning, Dave Andrechuk, in a 2-2 hockey game now.
Lots of energy here, a lot of contact, as you can see right now.
And a really good atmosphere here in Tampa. Krasic's got the shot away and rocking it over the net. And caught nothing but glass. Here's Saint-Louis trying to free himself to the Collier. He ripped one over the net. Pretty nifty setup there. On that last goal by Tampa, they'll give an assist to Seaback, the third member of that fourth line. So now we've taken care of all the accounting and paperwork.
Well, the Cavalier would like to get more scoring chances like that. That was a really good setup on their last rush. The Cavalier came late on the play, and he ripped that shot high and hard. Took a pretty good lift while he did it, too. I think it was Nikolic who dropped his shoulder into him. You can really be susceptible to getting injured or certainly shaken up when you're in the act of shooting and you get whacked.
Hayden stuck around a Lukovic hit, and the backhand chance in front of Kowalchuk was thwarted. Shot off the Piper, they say it's in. The red light is on, and the referee immediately signaled it's a goal.
I think it's in. I'm pretty sure I saw the Twine move. It did come out on a funny angle, but this is a heck of a wrist shot here by Alex Tanguay. They'll go upstairs and check this like they always do. But if when you get a chance, the puck will go in the top right-hand corner as you look at the net. Well, Southwest Airlines goal camp should have given us a pretty good feel here. Javi Bulin will move over to his right, and it'll go over his left shoulder. Okay, that gives you the feel and the look of what Javi Bulin saw. This one will tell. Absolutely, that's in. It's just right in the upper corner there, and the webbing is so tight it came in and out. It might have caught a piece of that crossbar too. What a shot by Tanguay.
Wow, and that you saw it, right, with the naked eye. Good job by Koharski, immediately pointed the goal. And the goal judge, who turned the red light on, which has essentially become a figurehead kind of position, immediately flipped the light on as well. Good job all around. Me, I'm having problems with my contact lens. Therefore, I was waiting for the reason.
You have the left and the left and the right and the right. Oh, yeah, I can see the arm now.
Right. 3-2, Colorado. Shot out, and sure will scoop it and show it. And we'll send it back to John Butcher.
What Sean Nelson is to Harvey Danger, Todd Harvey is to the San Jose Sharks. Wraps around and beats Cujo. Best winning percentage in the NHL since October 30th is the Avalanche. Second, the Sharks. They're up 1-0 after 20.
What a turnaround in San Jose. NHL.com for scores, stats, fantasy, and the official store of the NHL. NHL.com. If it's hockey, it's here.
Now, how about those San Jose Sharks? They have been absolutely awesome the last couple of months after a pretty shaky start.
Shot, block, loose puck, side. Drastic is there. And it's just all the way down. Slap it around.
For two teams that are not in the same division or even in the same conference, they're really going at each other.
Moore off the turnover to Heidel. Shot, stuck. And Worrell is on it. Worrell is hurt in front of the Colorado bench.
And he's limping a little bit, and he missed most of training camp in the first part of the year with a bad knee.
That shot. Seaback got the shot away. Easy stop from way out for Avalanche. Lukovich, who's been among the big, if not the biggest hitter for Tampa Bay tonight. Off the board. Dan Boyle's offensive production cut in half exactly. Came in with just 15 points, had 30 at this point last season. And the Lightning are going the wrong way, starting to hear it from the crowd, and that's whistled down a two-line pass.
There's lots of good old-fashioned animosity in this game. Everybody's running at each other, and a bad collision here for Peter Worrell. Ooh, that doesn't look comfortable. We'll see what happens.
Martin St. Louis has fans, not just here in Tampa, but evidently all over the NHL. Among wingers in the East, only Ilya Kovalchuk of Atlanta got more All-Star votes than St. Louis. That shot from Fedotenko. Avalanche got just enough with the glove to keep it out. 3-2 Colorado now. And it's flipped out to center. Race for the puck. Woodbridge got there. And they're offside. Back to John Butchergrass.
The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim say they played their best game of the year in Vancouver Saturday night. Can they build off it? Sergei Fedorov tries to pass this to Peter Secor, but Roman Turek, a bit of an unathletic move, deflects it in himself. So the Ducks, so far so good. After a Canuck win, they lead 1-0.
John and Barry are coming up on the Southwest Airlines Intermission Report. Scores and highlights. Lots of afternoon activity on this day where we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're having a great holiday weekend. And a great way to cap it off with this tremendous hockey game that we're just past the midway point of.
And Peter Worrell is back on the bench. We showed you that hit and it went into the side of his knee. It was one of those situations where you just never really see it or feel it coming, and he limped to the bench. Peter Worrell did have a knee problem earlier in the year, went to the locker room and is back. So good news there for Colorado.
I should tell you the goal on that bullet shot was Tengen. Here's a chance shot, score! Tim Taylor has tied the game at 3.
This is the second goal now that right off a face-off has really gotten Colorado in trouble. It was a bit of a bad bounce, but they just don't sort it out very well. And Tim Taylor goes in all alone. I mean, that's a goal scorer's goal. Timmy Taylor is not usually known for the great hands, but he saw a chance there because Abisher made himself really small rather than really large. I think Abisher was looking 5-hole there. Taylor held on an extra second, and he shot it in the far bottom corner.
Knocked that one aside, although it looked like it was going wide. This is a terrific hockey game here tonight.
I mean, it's two aggressive teams that have talent, especially up front. There's chances out there. They're playing, they're running at each other.
Somehow they were just onside. He said not really known as a goal scorer. He would be kind, Brian. For Tim Taylor, that's his first goal in 24 games. To give you an idea, he's a face-off specialist that hasn't been taking any face-offs lately because his wrist is hurt. And he's able to make that kind of goal scorer's goal. Boyle was in deep, couldn't do much with it. And here's Hayduk the other way. A shot and a save. And there is no rebound. Taylor from Andrechuk and Saric, his third at 11:40. The goal for Tim Taylor, tie on the game at 3.
You don't want to give this guy very many chances, and he really just got a free one here on a burst down the wing. The best hands on the Colorado Avalanche, says every player on this team. the only 50-goal scorer in the National Hockey League last year, and he can score from all angles. And the proud papa of 2 twins just a month or so ago as well.
Off the face-off win. Foot got the shot away in traffic. Hanging his rebound. The shot was tipped aside.
First, I guess if they're twins, they would have to be 2.
That's usually the way it works.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks.
Triplets, you hook there or not? You good on triplets?
That's not good.
Here's Pratt. And that shot from St. Louis never made it on goal. Partially fanned on. Hayden trying to move it the other way. Hayden will pick off the loose puck at center. He's in. Drop the top long shot and stop skating. St. Louis taken down. Pratt wanted to call. Good one. Here's Tangay. On for Skula. Turn it over to Pratt. We go the other way. And Tampa needs a change. Tarasenko will head off. Andrechuk bringing it back into his own end. Lukovic. On. Bodied by Moore. Larson tried to center. Did so, and they couldn't get the shot away.
That's that fourth line of Colorado. This line is a nightmare. They turn pucks over, they get in your face, and they throw them quickly in front of the net. That's how they score the goals. They almost pulled it off.
Larson put Andrechuk down. Loose puck there. Taken away. Shot center. What a glove save that was by Bobby Bullen. And it was Jimmy Cummins who fired the shot.
Well, he's another guy who's not known for his goal scoring. That was a great shot by Jimmy Cummins, and that had to be a huge save by Bobby Bullen.
That looked ticketed.
Yeah.
Scraston to slow things down. This will, when it really slowed things down, would have been ice except Bobby Bullen plays it. Cullimore back on it, able to move it away from Modine. This Frederick Modine started the scoring in this hockey game. With the first of 6 goals we've seen tonight. Here's Stillman. Off for Richards. Down low Lyles. Taken away Stillman. Second trying to knock it away. Richards now for Tampa. Lyles on him. Tampa cycling up in here. Blake on Stillman. Back behind the net. And loose, and now we get the whistle. 5 minutes even left here in the second. Tied 3. Talking cup here, Tampa, Brian.
This is an exciting team,
yep.
and they can do a lot of damage. I don't know that Tampa has the depth to go far enough to win the Stanley Cup. But hey, the trading deadline isn't here yet either. You never know what Tampa might be able to do before they get to that trading deadline. In my opinion, there's Corey Sarich, who is a strong young defenseman for him, has done a good job. That's the one area that they need to add some depth in order to get to that next level. Tampa needs a little more horsepower on the back end. Somebody who's been around, who certainly can play in all situations, but somebody who can give them some offense too.
John Tortorella, who's really turned this program around, remains without a contract. His contract will expire at the end of the season. He says he's not doing contract negotiations during the season. Doesn't want it to be distracted. But talk to him in the offseason. Couldn't agree to terms. And we'll see where the chips fall when the season comes to an end. Thursday night, Mark Messier and the Rangers host Jeremy Roenick and the Flyers. Exclusive coverage on ESPN's Thursday Night Hockey. It's also available in high definition on ESPN HD. So call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today. The NHL on ESPN, made in America, delivered on Thursday at 7:30 Eastern, exclusive.
Martin St. Louis has not had a lot of scoring chances in this game. We mentioned how dynamic he has been all season long, and he's just not quite finding that open seam he's been able to find lately.
Kubina able to chip it in to the corner. Stillman will leave it there for Modine. Just a flick of the wrist by Rob Blake able to knock that puck away. Rob Blake led all Western Conference players in votes for the All-Star game. Voted in the starter yet again. Back behind the net. Here's Tangay deep in his own end. Pratt able to hold in. Here's Richards with the bouncing puck. And it's shot to the corner. Blake to get to it first. Modine on him. Blake couldn't clear, so he took down a Tampa player. Kubina. And And the shot from the angle, Abersher will cover up.
On that last goal that was scored by Tim Taylor, it was good, some good work by Dave Andrechuk in using that great reach of his. And Andrechuk is 6 feet 4 inches tall. And here's a look at his sticks. His sticks come, and on the left you can see the usual length of a stick, and they have to add that extra couple of inches just so it works for him. And then this is a stick that he's had the trainers carry around since 1982. It's his good luck stick, and it looks like more of be used to prop up tomatoes in the garden than to use for a shot right now, but it is just for good luck.
Think about the amount of equipment managers and trainers, the amount of teams he's been on, games he's been around, that have carried that around. Not since 2002, folks.
And it was given away once by one of the trainers, and they had to go get it back from the person they gave it away to and give them a couple of sticks in return because Dave found out it had been given away. He wanted it back. He wanted his luck back.
And as legend has it, he's actually used that stick in games when he's had to. On the road, breaks a couple sticks. Can you imagine what the players on the ice would be saying if you show up on a game using that stick? Old-time hockey indeed.
It's a little powderized because of the shot.
Swept around front, shot, it's Faratenko! And the Lightning reclaim the lead.
Tampa does it again. They take advantage of a coverage that's just not there for Colorado. They don't have their men wrapped up. And it was sort of a surprise play. Faratenko gets free all alone in front of the net, and he just shouldn't have been. There was a lapse there for a moment. That was Carlos Strastic, who just let Faratenko get out of his reach for a moment. And when you do that in front of your own net, bad things happen a lot of times, and it did for Colorado.
Loose puck in center. For the Avalanche, they don't give up 4 goals too often. Certainly not with an entire third period to still be played here.
This is the kind of game that Colorado was playing in the first month and a half of the season. They'd be great offensively. There were a lot of things going on, but they'd make some plays in their own end that were just out to lunch. And really, pretty well every goal that's been scored in this game has been the same way. They just have missed their coverage, or they simply have not bared down at the right time. Watch number 3 White come out to the front of the net with 17 Black. See 3 White's not paying any attention. All of a sudden, whoa! And it's too late.
Faratenko is the birthday boy. Celebrated his birthday. Celebrated probably with a goal, but his birthday actually was yesterday. 25. And some of the tough guys on the ice. Getting together.
Yeah, right now it's Colorado who needs an injection of some emotion to get their level back up. They dropped off. And you can really feel it in this game. And this guy will get the energy back for you because he goes in there and pounds some people. He's 6'7", 245 pounds. And when he leans on you, you can consider yourself leaned on. And it feels like it. So they got in there and they just started banging around there. And hopefully that'll put some energy. Now there's a face-off in the offensive zone. And now the guys with the big shots are out there. Correa, Solani, and Joe Sakic.
Far side, Climber got a piece just enough to get it out to center. Now he found himself with all sorts of time and space. Yeah, why not? He'll shoot it in and really put it on goal. Skula up the far side. Here's Paul Correa. Pass knocked away, and Skula will go back and chase. Andrechuk will full check in deeper into the Colorado end. Faratenko is 7 from the Cavalier and St. Louis at 17:06. The difference in the game right now.
And this line for Colorado has got Tampa afraid, and they should be afraid. Tampa doing a good job.
And it looked like a late whistle on the offside call. Correa was in. Tonight's coverage of the first Grand Slam tennis event of the year will continue on ESPN2. Live matches from Melbourne. And that's coming up at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific tonight. Early round coverage following our game. I'm Roddick and Andre Agassi advance. Venus Williams advances. All still very much alive in the Australian Open.
Paul Correa was just barely offside on that pass. I'm saying that Tampa done a really good job against that line. You have to jam up the neutral zone and not let them get going.
Shot loose puck to everybody except Bobby Blue. It's Avalanche up now. Tanguay let it go. the faceoff will stay in the Tampa end.
That's an interesting combination out there for Colorado, and Nikolai Habibulin is well aware of the guys that he has to face out there. You have to keep track of great goal scorers all the time. I mean, you have to have a feel for them. You have to be able to read plays, because you know that the likes of Correa and Solani and Sakic and Hayduk are going to make plays that if you don't have a sense that it's coming, you will never get over in time to stop the puck.
Push back to center, Blake. And Hayduk out ahead for Tanguay. And slot back out to center. St. Louis trying to get a step. You're right, he's a real offensive player. Hasn't been able to get much going for Tampa. And that's a bit of a surprise that Tampa has scored 4 goals. St. Louis would not be heavily involved in all of them. He did get an assist on that Fedor goal.
But that's probably the good news, because you know he still has time to go here, and he's dangerous every single shift he's out there. Martin St. Louis can make something out of nothing real quick.
Here's Moore moving it away. He'll shoot to the corner. Larson on the forecheck. He'll rub out his man. Center trying to hit Heinold. And then Heinold sends his man down to the ice.
Steve Moore and Heinold have been tough tonight.
Here's Moore trying to feather it through. Got it through Sarich, and then the shot missed the mark.
Steve Moore has probably had 3 really good scoring chances in this game from 15 feet or less, and he's come away empty-handed so far.
When we think about, Brian, the energy players from both sides, they've really played a large role in this game. And listen to the fans here. Tampa found themselves trailing 2-1 after 1. Yet the Lightning will enjoy a 4-3 lead as they head to the dressing room. Period number 3 sets up to be a dandy. The Southwest Innovation Report is coming up.
The NHL on ESPN2. Brought to you by the 240 horsepower V6 Accord from Honda. Wendy's Super Value Menu, the best 99 cents you can spend. And Bud Light, the proud sponsor of the NHL.
Steve Levy, Brian Engblom, back at the St. Pete Times Forum here in Tampa, Florida. The Avalanche are losing. Not a shock, considering there's no Peter Forsberg on that bench. You add up the overtime losses as well. In the 22 games he's been in the lineup, the Avalanche are 10 games over 500. In the 23 without him, they're only 2 games over 500. That is quite a difference. And not the only reason the Avalanche find themselves trailing as we hit the 3rd period, but just one of them.
And this is a 4-game stretch on the road for the Avalanche, and people will look at it around the league and say, this game isn't easy, because Tampa is leading their division. They're a tough team to play against. But their opposition, they go to Florida, that struggled all year to get points. Atlanta, who's been struggling just lately after a great start. And then Pittsburgh, who's struggled all year as well. So they're going to look at this stretch for Colorado and say, you have to get big-time points here because you're supposed to. But it's not always as easy as all that.
Icing is called. Peter is on the road trip. We'll see after tweaking that groin again if he'll play in a couple of nights at Florida. And look at this. Look at this. Colorado has lost 220 man games to injury. Tampa Bay, 14.
That is awesome good luck. And for all you Tampa fans, I am touching wood out here so that doesn't change. But it is an unbelievable discrepancy. The poor Los Angeles Kings, who were at the top of that list, and St. Louis in second place, have just been decimated. And there's Tampa with only 14 man game left.
Kings finally got a win.
Those poor guys, I don't know how they're doing it as well as they are. They just have been decimated. All their major players are out for the year.
I think Andy Murray still got a shot at Coach of the Year where he's kept that group together. He's a man game block. Here's Modine. This is the mark on the sheer side. 3rd period underway here in Tampa. A 4-3 hockey game, folks. If every game league-wide was played the way this one is, there would be no complaining by anybody. Not the paying customers in the stands, not the fine folks like yourselves watching on TV. This has been a tough game. Not necessarily well played throughout, but this has been fun hockey to be around. That shot sailed wide and missed the mark, caught the glass.
When there's energy and physical play and there's skill like this, there's going to be mistakes made. And there have been mistakes made in this game by both teams, especially Colorado in their own zones. But that's where the fun is, and that's where the goals are scored, and that's where the action is.
And it doesn't have to be a rivalry game, although those games certainly lend itself to that kind of hockey. But these are some teams that meet twice a season. Corey Sarge. They'll move it away. Thinking about Clyde. Jumping. Get a change. Icing. Being called. Hey, congratulations are in order to three gentlemen. First of all, the late Ray Moran, who was tied into the Avalanche, sort of, the Colorado hockey. He was the general manager of the Colorado Rockies from 76 to 81. For the Lester Patrick Award winners, outstanding service and dedication to hockey in the U.S. And our colleagues on ABC, John Davidson and Mike Doc, congratulations.
Outstanding, well-deserved, all of it.
Here's the Cavalier. Whoa, a little tricky shot there, and the rebound is just pushed wide. What a nifty move there by Le Cavalier, and obviously had to be ready. Made the first stop, didn't have to make the second.
That's a really good screenshot there by Le Cavalier on the rush, and it was Fedotenko who was going to the net, who got the second chance, and he just got buried by Adam Foote, which is nothing unusual there. Watch number 4 here. Fake the shot, and then just make a little move, and then the quick shot. Oh, and Abisher has all he can do just to make that save, and then Fedotenko, who went to the net, had to come right out on his stick, and he just didn't have a chance to bury it. He had room on the short side. Then he Le Cavalier, and the record for the team when he's popping it in the net and scoring points, and when he's not.
When you look at those numbers, Brian, that would really indicate, as Le Cavalier goes, so do the Tampa Bay Lightning. He scores, they win. He doesn't score, they lose. I mean, it's almost that cut and dry, that simple.
And I think Vinny would be the first to say he's going to have to pick it up in the second half because he's, what, 5th on his team.
5th in scoring.
In scoring, and he should be number 1 and number 2.
Not 5th in the league, folks. That's
on
5th on the Tampa Bay Lightning in scoring. Boyle will go back and chase. And icing is called, and of course, he hasn't been around the league all that long, Le Cavalier. His 6th this season, only the 4th with John Tortorella, but their feuds, public and behind closed doors, have been infamous. This from the Hockey News, playing on the team concept. If he doesn't, he sits. I don't give a who he thinks he is. Some harsh words, and we talked to Tortorella about that this morning.
It's all been looked after. John Tortorella likes to get in the face of his players, and he likes to openly challenge them, and he wants Le Cavalier to come back at him. He really does.
Sackett pushed it across. It goes off the netting, and the faceoff will stay in. Tortorella told us about 3 weeks ago he challenged individuals on his team, but he didn't do it individually. He challenged the key individuals in front of the entire team. And he said one by one, guys came to him privately afterwards and stood back up to him, pointed a finger back in his face, and he said that was the reaction he was trying to get from guys like St. Louis, Stillman, etc. But not Le Cavalier.
And Le Cavalier didn't, that's right. And he wants Vinny to come back at him because, as they said, Tortorella's an in-your-face kind of coach, and all coaches have to challenge their players, and they do in different ways. Well, Tortorella doesn't beat around the bush, and he made that apparent last year because Le Cavalier and Tortorella got into it before, but he does want him to play hard. He demands it, and he or anybody else is not going to play if he doesn't play to the level of effort that everybody else does on the Lightning team.
And when Tortorella refers to who he is or who he thinks he is, you know, he's talking about this was the #1 pick overall in the '98 draft. He's really been the face of this franchise. And hasn't lived up to expectations. Came off a career year last year, 78 points that dominated a season which he more than doubled his previous output. But again, he comes into tonight, 4 games without a point, 6 games without a goal. Although he was able to hit the score sheet tonight. Blake looked for the big hit in the corner and got it. For the Lightning still at the puck. Here's Stillman side of it, and Blake just buried him along the goal line.
That's one of the things that Rob Blake doesn't get enough notice for. His move from the front of his net to either side and towards the corners is dynamic. And he crushes people, he eliminates them, and he runs over them. And that's the kind of play that you're supposed to have in front of the net. Yeah, he's got a great shot. Yeah, he can move up the ice. But this kind of stuff, at 6'4", 225 pounds, he hit Modine. Now, watch, 4 will come from the left side of your screen, and Corey Stillman is eliminated from getting another chance. That's all-star stuff again from Rob Blake.
You see the numbers on Blake. Look at that differential, plus-minus. That's got to be a fluke with Rob Blake, who plays the same every single night, regardless of what sweater he's wearing.
Well, plus-minus is only an indication. There are a lot of factors that go in. If it's to whether or not, who you're playing against and things like that can work against you in plus-minus sometimes.
We showed you him cleaning up business in his own end. Oh, by the way, Blake is second in points among defensemen in the NHL. He's certainly Gonchar has 4 points. LeCavalier couldn't handle. Take down at center ice. Couple of players are spilled. And Boyle will go back to chase for the Lightning. He's forechecked by Haydu. Worked up the wall on the far side. Fedotenko will move it ahead. Fedotenko's goal is the difference in the hockey game right now. 17:06 of the second. LeCavalier will sail the lead. 4-3 Tampa Bay.
And this is about the most careful the game has been, and really at any stage. And as Tampa sitting back a little bit, and that can be really dangerous. Yeah, they got to play good defense. You can't sit back and let Colorado just keep coming at you in ways. Way too talented for that.
Fedotenko on the far side. Couldn't work it free. Center, Boyle broke it up. Larson got it back to the point. Morrison's shot missed the net. Morrison checked his twig now. Kind of leaned on it, make sure he hadn't broken it. Morrison go back to chase. Off the Skula, he's got a goal in the game. A couple of rare goal scorers in this game. Tim Taylor, his first goal in 24 games. Martin Skula, his first goal in 23 games. We send it back to John Butchergrass.
Well, this sums up Anaheim's season, Steve. Off a nice win in Vancouver. Talk about building off that. Now tonight in Calgary, Oleg Saprikian off the skate of Soleil, and the Ducks laying an egg after their gem of a game in Vancouver, losing 3-1 after 40.
And on home ice as well. Korea able to get out ahead for Heino. Finds Peter Worrell. Had a step, didn't corral the puck. Worrell is crushed by Kavita. And the crowd wins.
And there's about 12 different line combinations that Tony Granato is using in this game. Now, Dan Heino out there with Paul Korea on the right wing and Peter Worrell. That's quite a combination.
He gets to it. They'll spit away from Worrell, who you know wants a piece of him after a couple of big hits. And those two go head-to-head and go banging into the glass. Out of center. Lightning trying to move in now. Positioned by Colorado. Tipped in by Stillman. And Abisher has all sorts of time to leave it there. Tipped out at center. Off of Tanguay. And Hobby Bullen able to play it away. Moore was nearly on it. Here's Andrzejchuk now. But Tampa tried to sneak it through the Climber. Instead, they're offside.
This has been a terrific hockey game, and Tampa is ahead 4-3. Vinny LeCavalier did most of the work in setting up the go-ahead goal by Fedotenko. Are they done? Do they have one more in them?
Back in Tampa, sellout crowd of better than 19,000. Things are good here at Tampa, Florida. The St. Pete Times Forum attendance is up 250 people per game. As we look at the respective records, after 2 periods of play, the Lightning are leading and the Avalanche in trailing. 4th sellout of the season. Actually, this is the 5th sellout for the Lightning this spring. Ahead of last year's pace as well. Here's Skula now. Got it. Take the tape and the shot and a save. Hayden's got it away quickly. Hobby Bullen made the stop. Cross ice. Skula went for the pass instead of a shot, looking for more on the redirect.
Colorado moving the puck around like they did in the early stages of the first period there. Maybe a little bit of an overpass, but it was a good job by Tampa to jam in the middle of the ice. Martin Skula had a terrific chance to shoot the puck, and he was trying to catch Milan Hayduk on the other side of the ice.
Kobina will shoot in. Tail around with forecheck. Blake will reverse. For Strastic. Cullimore had his stick lift, still able to keep it. Strastic's backboard. Andrzejczuk buries him into the boards. And we go the other way. Hobby Bullen thought about it, and then thought better of it. Rolled around the boards. Here come the Lightning. Tim Taylor. Off the Primer now. Primer trying to work on Lyles. Lyles puts a stick into him first, and then the body. Textbook defense right there,
I was just thinking the same thing. He did a really good job. John Michael Lyles is not a very big defender, but he did that by the book. It was perfect.
There's some of the size differential and nearly cost Lyles in the Avalanche.
Yeah, when you get on the backside of Dave Andrzejczuk, Lyles is probably giving away about 5 inches there.
Primer trying to come out of the corner. Lyles a cross check to his back. Wrapped around the boards, and Korea's got a lane to come out. Tried the headman pass, it was broken up. Cullimore did a good job. Foot the other way for Colorado. Strastic, cross ice pass. Could not connect for Solani, although now it does. Coming up on the midway point of period number 3. Strastic has a lane, lets it go, and it's deflected. Tip to the corner. Heino worked it free. Back behind the net, here's Solani. Solani is taken down. Still working. Here's Teemu Solani now. Again, just 2 goals in his last 17 games. Really trying to get it going. Strastic, shot, save, rebound, swept, and on goal, and Hobby Bullen with the glove. And here's John Butcher-Ross with an update.
Couple Western Conference heavyweights. Red Wings in San Jose. Nicholas Lidstrom will try to clear this puck out of the zone. Hits a stanchion. Wayne Primo, beautiful backhand pass to Massachusetts-born Nico Dimitrakos. And the Sharks, after 40, lead the Wings.
Those guys are just golden, the Sharks. Nikolai Habibulin, Southwest Airlines goal cam, again, fighting for his own space there. And I think the initial shot from the point actually hit Brad Larson, the Colorado forward, and then Habibulin was able to cover up.
Here's Mikulichin trying to break through. Dignan trying to get it out. Did not. Off of Boyle's skate, back behind it. Mikulichin trying to reverse the flow with a tricky play there. They'll try to hook up with Cummins. Mikulichin, with John Hick, takes it away. Cummins to crash him into the boards. Seaback trying to clear, could not. Had a chance and couldn't get it out. Let's see if it costs the Lightning. Here's Cummins now. Back to the point. Skula will let it go. Off a Seaback skate to the corner. Mikulichin has it now. For Worrell. Tipped it back behind the net. Center. Here's a chance. Mikulichin in traffic and taken down by Lukowicz and clear.
Oh, that was a good scoring chance for Mikulichin, too. He walked right down the middle, and Tampa was so worried about the outside, they'd almost formed a box defensively. Mikulichin walked calmly right down the middle, had a scoring chance, and couldn't quite control the puck for the shot.
Skula. The Avalanche take their time moving it away. Too far for more. This will be icing. Back for the touch. 4-3 Lightning. 9:14 left in the third. 21 of Brad Richards' 23 points have come here at home. He likes playing here, and the fans here absolutely love him as well. We'll get more into that. Stillman. Shot was blocked. Stillman will glove it down. Tip in front. Avisher had to make the save on Richards, who was dumped as he got the shot away.
He was right on cue there, too. That was an excellent timing pattern. Richards going from the corner to the front of the net, and Stillman waiting for him to get there. And the shot came, the deflection came, and it almost went.
Kobina behind the net for the Lightning. Under 9 to go. Regulation. It's been an awful good hockey game here tonight. Just about ever. Here's Modine. Has Richards with him and can't even get the shot away. Blake just put him in nowhere land and had no play to make.
That's that pressure on a 2-on-1 where you feel like you have to make the pass. Freddie Modine decided he was going to make the pass come what may, and Rob Blake took that whole situation away from him. Modine didn't make the mental adjustment.
Climb. Now, I mean, some fans would look at that as a mistake by Modine, but really more than that, it was a terrific play by Blake.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. Rob Blake made himself look big. He was swooping his stick around. He made it uncomfortable for Modine to make the play that he wanted to make, and Modine ended up making none.
Sackett twirls around. Back behind the net. Cullimore has one hand off the stick. Normally draws the penalty. Schooler will glove it down, deep in. Wrapped around the boards. Korea, first on it. Backhanded it towards the corner, but Taylor is there. Tampa Bay. Taking a one-goal lead, will probably see a lot more of Tim Taylor now. Blake put it off the skate of Andrewchuk. Tampa will go for a change now. That allows Colorado to get out. They'll give it go. Seen a bunch of that from Korea and Solani. It hasn't resulted in the goal. Here's Solani now. The shin paddle of Cavalier. Nicolisha. With Korea and Solani. Back to the point. Foot got it across. Shot, stick save. Loose puck pops up into the air. Rebound at Colorado. Foot got it across again. That shot is rocketed through everybody. And it comes back. It's fast to go back to King. Jason. Off for Nicolisha. Fast it for Nicolisha again. Lido picks up a loose change at center. Cloud ahead man broken up on point. We go the other way. And they're offside. Say what we. Offside. Well, we mentioned Brad Richards, how his play is so much better here at home than it is on the road, and how much they like him here in Tampa. Well, one part of it is that sweet. They call it Richie's Rascals. The young 23-year-old center took about $100,000 out of his own pocket before the start of the season, bought the suite, and donates the tickets to two area nonprofit organizations for youngsters and families to enjoy the hockey games on his dime. Here in Iceland, the Pediatric Cancer Foundation and the Children's Cancer Center here in the Tampa area.
That's great stuff when guys literally get back to the community in so many different ways.
Kowalchuk got it over. Shot, score! It's Milan Hajduk! And the game is tied at 4.
There are not too many guys in the league who are going to make this shot under this kind of situation where you're trying to get yourself back in the game. The best hands on the team come through again. Milan Hajduk, who finds a way to find open seams, and they get him the puck. And look, he comes late on the play, and there's just no mistake. That is perfection. Watch Khabibulin track the play. There's no shot there, right? You can't see any net there, right? Wrong. There was just a little bit right over the glove. Milan found it. 22nd goal.
What a shot.
His release is so quick and disguising. The goaltender can never seem to figure out, is it high, is it low, is it short side, is it far side, is it 5-0? Yeah, it's all of that.
You think about some of the better releases in the game. Tanguay had the bullet shot. We had to look at the replay to make sure we had it earlier. Sakic's got the unbelievable bullet wrist snapshot as well. Korea gets it off quickly. Solani, pretty amazing.
We saw Le Cavalier come down on a one-on-one and make a terrific play too that didn't end up in a goal, but this is a 4-4 hockey game. It's going to be terrific because of plays like this. Milan Hajduk has just tied it at 4-4. Can Tampa come?
Canadian girls love hockey. The American girls, they love hockey too. Dan Boyle, in a recent interview in the Hockey News, they asked him if you were commissioner for a day, what would you do? He said lower ticket prices for good-looking women. That was a pretty good answer. He also said if he wasn't an NHL player, what would he be? Dan Boyle gambles a little bit on the ice. He said he'd be one of those guys you see in the World Series of Poker playing on ESPN. Oh, yeah? Poker face over Dan Boyle. Abisher will steal it to the corner. Coming up on 5 minutes, even to play here in the third. Battle for it. Turned over to Fedotenko, and he turns it over himself. To Tanguay, and he turns it back over to Fedotenko. Fedotenko got the shot away. And it was easily stopped by Abisher. Out at center now. Tanguay, St. Louis. Hajduk comes over. That last goal was Hajduk, his 22nd from Kowalchuk and Tanguay at 13:41. That's the tying goal in the game. Tanguay and Hedo got 3-point game. Connor Walchuk's got a pair of helpers tonight.
Connor Walchuk has been fantastic. He was a great acquisition from the Washington Capitals. He's been playing center between Tanguay and Hedo. Again, a very interesting combination. Usually Peter Forsberg, of course, is there, but Forsberg is still injured.
Back behind the net. Here's Moore on his backhand. Centered for Korea. And he couldn't get there. Straston shot it there. Through traffic. Save. And Moore, a little jam at the rebound. And Pratt lets him know he doesn't appreciate it. It's been a dandy tonight from Tampa. Make sure you're watching ESPN's Thursday Night Hockey. Exclusive coverage of the Flyers and the Rangers. Always a good time when those two get together. Flyers and Rangers also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Make sure you call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today. At 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific.
Milan Hejduk with the prettiest goal in this game so far. We've seen a lot of different types of goals scored here, but that one was the most perfect shot.
Blake will go back and chase. They'll call icing.
Alex Tanguay and Milan Hejduk have been playing together over the last 3 years an awful lot, and normally they play with Peter Forsberg. Forsberg's hurt, as I mentioned. Forsberg won the MVP in the National Hockey League last year, playing between these two guys. And if you remember back to the year 2001, Hejduk and Tanguay are sort of right in the middle of the screen there. Also, we're playing with Joe Sakic. Joe Sakic was MVP that year. So those two guys do a pretty nice job of, yeah, they're great centermen, but those two guys will do a darn good job where you get to play with them regularly.
So should we look for Connor Walchuk to maybe do this season?
There we go. He's a little more time.
Modine hit check by Rob Blake down the ice. Boyle from the angle. Boyle's in deep. Lightning looking for more. And as John Tortorella has said, he wants defense in the pinch. He wants everybody to go, go, go. And Boyle's one of those guys who can generate offense on the defense.
Safe is death. That's their motto, and he doesn't want them sitting back now. They need to be up on the club.
Love that model. Richards will glove it down. Trying to get it through the foot, doesn't work out. Back the other way. Hejduk and Tanguay seem like they're on the ice the entire game. It's amazing.
Well, in key situations, certainly when they needed a goal to tie things up, you know they're going to get a lot of ice time. They have just terrific chemistry. And it's really amazing to me that they play a lot between Sakic and Forsberg, as I mentioned. And those two centers play completely different kinds of hockey. And so those guys have to make big adjustments, and they do.
Here's Connor Walchuk looking for his third assist of the game. Corey Sarich, good job to break it up. Rolls in. Abisher will take a chance. He'll glove it. 2:32 left here in the third. Tied at 4.
Things have settled down a little bit here. When you're attacking against the Colorado Avalanche, there's Rob Blake. Watch him come across here. And Modine had his head up. And that saved him because Rob Blake and Scott Stevens, in my mind, and Scott Stevens of the New Jersey Devils are the two best open ice hitters in the game. And Blake came across. He comes across backwards with the backside of the hip, whereas Scott Stevens comes across with the shoulder. Blake used to do that, but a couple of shoulder surgeries later, he stopped.
Shot. Oh, tremendous save by Abisher. Maybe his best of the game there on Tim Taylor, who was bidding for a second goal. Who's hot, and Abisher's got it. Tremendous east-west quickness by Abisher to get there.
And it's these type of situations where you need your goaltender to come through. I mean, neither of the goaltenders has been brilliant. They haven't been bad. There have been some strange goals go in tonight's game, and Abisher hasn't been helped out by his defense on several occasions here tonight. But when you're on a 4-4 hockey game, you need big saves, and that was a big-time save by David Abisher on Tim Taylor off that bad angle.
Taylor, who earlier scored his first goal in 24 games, was bidding for a 2-goal game. And Abisher beat to put it into the netting. We'll get the whistle.
Well, if Taylor had got that one, he'd go out and hurt the other hand.
That's right.
He hasn't been able to take any face-offs because he got a bad hand.
2:11 left. Face-offs become critical now.
And this is one of the areas, too, where Andre Nicolishin, who's out there, an acquisition again for specialty teams and for face-offs. He takes a big load off of Joe Sakic, because Sakic was by far their best face-off guy. And Joe would have to play a lot of extra minutes in big games just to go out there, take face-offs, sometimes get stuck in his own zone for longer than he would want to, and he wouldn't be able to get the rotation with his regular line. So that's one of the things that Nicolishin has added for Colorado.
Kubina is back deep. The Avalanche are going to outshoot their opponent, rather the Lightning are going to outshoot their opponent for the 16th consecutive game. It doesn't always result in a win, as they saw in Florida when they had a franchise record of 51 shots. And still lost for Roberto Luongo and the Panthers, 2-1. Lyles a step up. 80 seconds left in regulation. Fedotenko. He's on it for Tampa. He had given the Lightning the lead until Haydu took it back and tied the game at the 15:41 mark. Here's LeCarrier showing some of that strength. Back behind, and they got the pass away, but they couldn't get the shot away. Here's Sakic up the middle of the ice. He's slowed down. Good back-checking job there by Fedotenko. Sarge, checked by Correa. Cullimore, hit by Sakic. Played in the corner. LeCarrier following Correa. Here's Correa, got a second chance off the side of the net. Cullimore will get to it, takes a look, and will clear the zone. 30 seconds left in regulation. Taylor will slap in. Abisher will leave there. This has been one of those games by really where each club, they deserve a point. We'll see who's going to pick up a second, if anybody. Andrechuk had a step, lost his stick, and then lost the puck.
And then remember, overtime is 4-on-4. I mean, with the dynamic speed on both teams, everyone's looking forward to this.
Lukowicz back forward. Horn will sound. 60 minutes complete. We haven't settled anything.
Well, Tampa was trying to measure themselves against Colorado, and they had to come back to tie this game, and that's a major thing on Tampa's side.
Coming up after our hockey game, it's coverage of the first Grand Slam tennis event of the year. Our coverage of the Australian Open will continue. As for the first match you can look forward to, how about Venus Williams? You're going to see Venus Williams in action against Ashley Harkleroad. That's coming up next. 2004 Australian Open. Grand Slam tennis on ESPN2.
Well, Dave Andrechuk's boys, one of the things that they're leading their division, but one of the things they're going to have to fix is they are sub 500 against their own division. Atlanta, Florida, and Washington are all over 500. So if they're going to win this division and do well in the playoffs, Tampa's got to do better in that department. And for the Colorado Avalanche, they're in first place again in their division, and they're going for to increase their record of 10 consecutive division records, as division wins, I mean. And they're in a battle with Vancouver. I mean, Vancouver is really becoming their arch nemesis. Hey, Scotty Bowman, longtime coach of the Detroit Red Wings, of course, Montreal Canadiens, St. Louis Blues, Hall of Famer.
Former coach of yours?
Yes, you bet.
Taught you everything you knew?
Yep. Sort of.
Only the good stuff, right?
Yeah. Tony Granato, who's only in his second full year, and John Tortorella in his third here in Tampa. This is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, there's skill here. There is speed. Tampa wanted to be able to play a speed game against a very dynamic Colorado team, and now we're down to 4-on-4. There's the guy who scored the last goal in this game to tie things up, Milan Hajduk, and he's going to be out there to start it up. Fasten your seatbelts, folks.
Guys who can go. St. Louis is matched up against Korea as Richards and Hajduk to draw a battle on the faceoff.
And 3 forwards out there for Tampa.
Here's Blake. Got the angle, lets it go, and Javi Bulin will save. 11 seconds in, Blake from the angle.
Interesting for John Tortorella. He's got Martin St. Louis, the dynamic guy, that 185 pounds of dynamite that we talked about, who's got great wheels and the hottest scorer in the National Hockey League over the last month, out there playing defense. So you know that Colorado is going to try to attack against him because he doesn't have as much experience defending.
East versus West matchup. Not worried about the conference standings. So you can have a little fun here. Each team has already gotten a point. Here we go. Boyle will wind up trying to get away from Sakic. Turned it over, nearly turned it over. He was fortunate to get away with that one. Tanguay had a chance. Here's Stillman in on Blake. Here's a good idea. Back off. Stillman floats it towards the front of the net. Bouncing puck. Here's St. Louis. Blake rubs him out in a big way. Here's a size mismatch. Stillman finds Boyle. Blake running all over the place. Can't do it. Boyle rockets that one. And a save by Avalanche.
Oh, man, that is going to leave a mark. Martin St. Louis is about 9 inches shorter than Rob Blake, and he's got to give 45, 50 pounds away. Rob Blake just buried St. Louis. But then when you go for big hits, like right along the boards there, side of your screen, then you start running around a little bit. And Blake had to come back to the front of the net, and he did, but sometimes that can get you in trouble.
Off the face-off, and right off the face-off, a shot. And Avalanche had to be ready. The shot from Fedotenko. Headman pass, here's a chance. And penalty coming up.
Penalty
and
shot.
A penalty shot in overtime. Milan Hajduk was taken down. And folks, you know all about the most exciting play in hockey, a penalty shot. But how about a penalty shot in overtime? We're about to see it.
And he's already got one penalty shot goal in this season, and it was just a spectacular one because he's got such incredible hands. Milan Hajduk will go in close, and just watch how he snaps this shot. I mean, that is just pure silk. That's what he did earlier in the year.
Last Sunday against Chicago on ESPN2. How do you like this for drama? A penalty shot in overtime.
Now, I wonder if Nikolai Habibulin has seen that replay of Hajduk. But Hajduk can do anything. I mean, we saw him score the tying goal here. He loves that top corner.
Hajduk leads the Avalanche in game-winning goals. And he has an opportunity here.
And here's how the penalty was drawn. He was in free. And if you have a chance to go in all alone and you're taking that chance away, that was a definite trip. He was in all alone. This is a good call, certainly, on the penalty shot. What will he do?
Final instructions. Milan Hajduk on Nikolai Habibulin. Here we go. Score! Oh! Up top on Habibulin. Milan Hajduk has won it for Colorado on a penalty shot in overtime. The perfect capper to a thrilling game.
Oh, these hands should be in the Smithsonian. Milan Hajduk, interesting. You can see that we showed you the replay of the one he scored last week, and in this one, he does not come right down the middle of the ice. He comes off to one side. A lot of the great goal scorers will do that. They will come off not dead center, and it seems to open things up. It makes the goaltender show them something on one side or another. But just watch the hands. Click. There isn't much room there, trust me, folks, but the release is so quick. Habibulin, even if he guessed right, still didn't have a chance to get that glove up in the air.
Over the years, goaltenders have the percentage advantage on penalty shot. Not against Milan Hajduk. He's taken 2 penalty shots in 8 days, and he's connected on both. And this time it's the game winner. Milan Hajduk, 2 goals, 2 assists, and Colorado a 5-4 winner in a thriller here in Tampa. Tune in to ESPN Thursday night as the Flyers take on the Rangers at 7:30 Eastern. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. 2004 Australian Open next.